Hello and welcome to Courts Today by Live Law. Let us get to today's top legal updates. A Delhi court has remanded Mumbai terror attack accused Tahavvur Rana to 18 days of NIA custody. The Allahabad High Court has sentenced an advocate to 6 months in jail for calling judges gundas and has also barred him from practicing in the High Court for 3 years. The Supreme Court has observed that High Courts should not order CBI investigation in a routine manner or on basis of vague allegations. The Calcutta High Court has denied permission for Hanuman Jayanti event to be held on Red Road on 12th April. In the Delhi Coaching Center deaths case, the Delhi High Court has upheld order allowing Rao's IAS owner to photocopy financial documents seized by the CBI. And the Kerala High Court has ordered CBI investigation against former Chief Secretary K.M. Abraham in disproportionate assets case. I am Urvashi Chauhan with your daily roundup of legal updates from across the country. For detailed reading, you can always visit www.livelaw.in. Please make sure to watch this video till the end and do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel because your support means the world to us. Before I get to the details, here is an exciting opportunity for the judiciary aspirants. Live Law Academy, Live Law's judiciary coaching initiative, has opened registrations for its May batch. You can choose from two tailored courses. First is Jessup 2.0, a comprehensive 18-month online program covering everything you need to crack the judiciary exam, taught by an expert panel including retired judges. And the second is Jessup Lite, a flexible weekday-only program for those who prefer a structured yet lighter approach. Sign up today because the 30% early bird discount has been extended till 15th April. Plus, you get to enjoy free Live Law subscriptions, case compilations, and much more. Don't miss this opportunity. Enroll today at www.livelawacademy.in. In an important update, a Delhi court has remanded Tahavvur Hussain Rana, an accused in the 26/11 Mumbai attacks, to 18 days of National Investigation Agency custody. Rana, a Pakistan-born Canadian national, is alleged to be a close associate of David Coleman Headley, one of the key conspirators of the 26/11 attacks. You are already aware that the Mumbai attacks carried out on 26 November 2008 involved 10 Pakistani terrorists who targeted major landmarks like 2 luxury hotels, a railway station, and a Jewish center after sneaking into Mumbai via the Arabian Sea. Rana was formally arrested by NIA officials on his arrival at Delhi's IGI airport. According to NIA's press release, Rana was held in judicial custody in the US under the India-US extradition treaty. His extradition was finalized after he exhausted all legal options in US courts, including the US Supreme Court. The extradition involved close cooperation between Indian and US authorities with efforts from the US Department of Justice, Indian intelligence agencies, the NSG, and coordination by India's Ministry of External Affairs and Ministry of Home Affairs. Rana was produced late at night around 10:45 p.m. before Special Judge Justice Chandrajit Singh at Patiala House Courts amid tight security. The NIA had sought 20 days custody and the court pronounced the order past midnight around 2:15 a.m. Senior advocate Dayan Krishnan and Special Public Prosecutor Narendra Mann are representing the NIA and advocate Piyush Sachdeva is representing Rana through legal aid. Stay tuned for more updates on this case. The Allahabad High Court has today sentenced a Lucknow-based advocate to 6 months simple imprisonment for committing criminal contempt of court. In a stern judgment, the bench of Justice Vivek Chaudhary and Justice Brij Raj Singh found that the advocate had used abusive language against judges, calling them gundas, during an open court session in 2021, showing utter disdain towards the judicial process and repeatedly undermining the dignity of the institution. In addition to the prison sentence, the court has also barred him from practicing in the High Court at Allahabad and Lucknow for 3 years. He was also issued a notice under the Allahabad High Court rules to explain why this prohibition should not be formally enforced. These contempt proceedings stem from an incident on 18th August 2021 when the advocate appeared in the court improperly dressed, wearing civil clothes with his shirt unbuttoned. When the court directed him to dress appropriately, he defied the instructions, refused to wear an advocate's uniform, questioned the court's authority to define decent dress, and proceeded to use abusive language against the judges, claiming that they were behaving like gundas. The incident was not isolated. A couple of days earlier the same year, he had barged into the courtroom without uniform, disrupted proceedings by shouting without permission, and demanded to address the court out of turn. He was removed by security personnel and detained until the afternoon to give him some time to reflect and possibly apologize. However, instead of showing remorse, he re-entered the courtroom after his his release and resumed his disruptive conduct. The court observed that he had a history of similar misconduct since 2003 and showed no signs of reform, refusing to acknowledge his mistakes. The court concluded that his acts constituted a deliberate and direct attack on the dignity and decorum of the court. Calling this behavior a serious breach of courtroom protocol and discipline, the bench noted that such disruptions not only show disrespect towards the bench but also harm the public perception of the judicial system. Moving forward, the top court has ruled that mere bald allegations against local police are not enough to justify transferring an investigation to the Central Bureau of Investigation. A bench of Justices Sudhanshu Dholia and K. Vinod Chandran relied on the 2010 Constitution Bench judgment in State of West Bengal versus Committee for Protection of Democratic Rights, which held that CBI transfers should happen only in exceptional circumstances, such as protecting credibility, ensuring complete justice, or when incidents have national or international impact. In this particular case, let me tell you, an FIR was registered against the appellant for impersonating an intelligence bureau officer and extorting 1.49 crore. The complainant alleged collusion between the appellant and Haryana police, and the Punjab and Haryana High Court had transferred the investigation to the CBI. Setting aside the High Court's decision, the Supreme Court has emphasized that allegations were vague and unsubstantiated. Mere acquaintance with police officers was insufficient proof of bias. It also noted that a special investigation team led by an ACP was already investigating the case, with no evidence suggesting incompetence or bias by the local police. The court stressed vague ifs and buts cannot trigger a CBI probe. Consequently, the appeal was allowed and the CBI transfer order was set aside. The Calcutta High Court has refused to grant permission for a Hanuman Chalisa Path event at Red Road scheduled for 12th April. Although police later offered an alternative venue, the petitioner insisted on Red Road, citing that other communities had been allowed events there and that 12th April marks the birth of Lord Hanuman. The petitioner argued that similar events like Durga Puja Carnival had been permitted at Red Road without any objections. However, the state opposed this, stating that unless a location holds essential religious significance, no group can claim a public venue as a matter of right. Justice Tirthankar Ghosh noted that to establish a right to hold a religious event at a public place for the first time, proper evidence must be exchanged through affidavits. Since the process was not complete, the court denied the interim prayer and called for affidavits from both sides. Thus, the event cannot be held at Red Road tomorrow. The Delhi High Court has upheld a trial court's order allowing the owner of Rouse IS Study Circle to obtain photocopies of certain financial documents seized by the CBI. This case relates to the tragic drowning of 3 civil services aspirants in the institute's flooded basement last year. Justice Amit Mahajan dismissed the challenge filed by a deceased student's father, noting that the CBI itself did not object to providing copies and that the documents were unrelated to the core investigation. The court clarified that Section 230 of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita does not bar courts from supplying documents and emphasized that not every seized document is crucial for prosecution. And lastly, the Kerala High Court has today ordered CBI inquiry into former Chief Secretary of Kerala K.M. Abraham in a case of illegal amassment of wealth. The order was passed by Justice K. Babu in a petition filed by German Putin Porakal, a popular activist. It is alleged that while serving as the additional Chief Secretary of the Financial Department, Abraham acquired wealth disproportionate to his income. Earlier, the Vigilance Department had conducted an inquiry into the case and had closed the complaint. Now, the High Court has ordered the Vigilance to hand over the files to the CBI. As per the directions of the High Court, the investigation will be done by the Kochi unit of the CBI. Abraham is currently serving as the Chief Principal Secretary to the Chief Minister and is the CEO of Kerala Infrastructure Investment Fund Board, that is KIIFB.